Hello, ladies and gentlemen, and welcome back to the Dark Room Podcast with your boy Daryl. Today's show, we've got a good one. We've got a fellow paranormal slash aliens slash Bigfoot slash all of it. And I think it's only right that the handsome man introduces himself, and we will flow with whatever comes. So, Andy, you want to introduce yourself, who you are, and where, obviously, the name Alien 8 UK come from?
Yeah.
I
can start with that. So when you said handsome man, I was looking around. I didn't know who you meant. I thought you had somebody else on. But I'm guessing you meant me. So I'm Andy Codes. I have a YouTube channel, a couple of Facebook groups. I was soon to have a podcast. And did have a couple of websites, but I've took them down because it is too much hard work, to be honest with you, and I don't have enough hours to get everything done. So I don't class myself as a researcher. I'm an experiencer. I've had encounters from the earliest one I can remember. I was around 4 years old. I'm now 51. So quite a few years of stuff going on. There's a lot of gaps of absolutely nothing. So you've got that as well. I've just had all sorts going on, from shadow people, orbs, UFOs, missing time, apparent abduction, contactee stuff happen, time slips, and the list just goes on. And it's weird. So I'll start talking about the channel, and that'll bring what I've just said all into place. So it's called Alien 8 UK. Originally, it was Codes of Paranormal, Codes of the Unknown, 12th Dimension, blah, blah, blah. I don't know if you'll be the same, but I kept changing the name until I found something that felt right. I've only been doing this at this level about 2 years now. Been doing it solid for 3.5 years. But the first year and a half, 2 years is a massive learning curve. You've got to learn everything: how to use StreamYard, how to use YouTube, how to interview, how to anything, video edit, and it's just so much that you need to learn, and you're learning that constantly. I also work full time, so it's not like I can just sit down and do all this. It's like I've got to work, then I've got family life, then I've got personal life. It's finding the gap to fit it all in. Anyway, finally done it after, like I said, nearly 4 years. So all these different names, never really stuck with it. So people kept asking me about merchandise, and I kind of did a couple of cups. I had a hoodie and a t-shirt done for myself, but that was more just to see how it looked, and I was never 100% happy with what it was, the logo, any of that. I just, you know, when you just feel it's not right, it's good, but it's not. It's 75%. It's not 100. It's not 100. Not 110%.
Yeah.
And then this little guy here, the alien in the jar. So I acquired this from a good friend of mine up in Manchester. He's one of the guys that watches on the YouTube channel, and he said, I've got some things that you might be interested in. Anyway, story of that, it was from a house in Scotland. The guy died. His nephew, his son was emptying the house, and he was good friends with his Darren's nephew in Manchester. So he got a few bits, and this was one of the weird things that were in this house. There's tons and tons of stuff in this house, but this was the only thing that was really, really like out there.
Yeah.
So he asked me to. This was only about 3-4 months ago, and he asked me to. Did I want to make him an offer? And so I did. And he was like, yeah, it's yours. I'm like, oh my God. And then, but my car was knackered. So I'm like, right, I need to get my car fixed so I can go up and collect it. Anyway, got most of it fixed. It's all fixed now. Don't worry. So got it fixed enough so I could do this like 300-400 mile road trip. Got this, did some other bits and pieces around there, did investigation and all that. And I brought it back, and it's just there was something about it. And Darren said to me, and I didn't realize what he said at the time. You know, when someone says something, you take it in, but you don't 100% acknowledge what's being said.
Yeah.
And I didn't really understand what he meant. He said, "You'll get some miles out of that." And I thought he meant driving about with it, like strapped in the passenger seat. So, but he didn't mean that. And then it was there. I had it in my hand. I was looking at it, showing different people. And that is why this is now Alienate UK. So when I go out investigating, never had a name for me and the people that was going out investigating. It's just me and whoever, Andy and Elliot, Andy and Richard, Andy and Mark. There was never a name. And in the 4 years, it took me 4 years to realize I didn't have a name. I had a name for the show, I had a name for the Facebook group. And I was like, it all needs to come together. And it was that guy in this bottle, God knows what it is or where it's been or anything like that, that's brought it. The image, so Sarah, who co-hosts, and Aidy's in the chat now. Hi, Aidy.
Yeah. Hello, everyone.
I'd met up with them that night, the day that I got that, and it's just chatting with him. And Emma, who does all the cartoony characters for me, I asked her to do me an alien in a jar. Anyway, she did it, and he's like, "Yeah, it's good, but it wouldn't work as a printed logo. There's too much detail in it." So the one that you see, well, you can't. Can you see it now? Can you see my logo? Anywhere? No, probably not. No. So it's just black and white circle, and that's AI. So there's only me that's got that. So
you're literally going to make me having to look now.
Sorry, I don't think I've got anything behind me.
Sorry for my close-up, people.
What I'll do, I'll show you on my iPad. Oh, make it.
Have you given your alien friend a name?
Yes. So
yeah, that is nice.
There's a logo.
Yeah, it's very, very good.
There are a few little minor adjustments for like one without the writing, one with bits of the writing and all that kind of stuff. So we had the name Nate, as in Nathaniel, from the investigation that we did up in Manchester.
Yeah.
But even again, it wasn't sitting right. So it was like Nate, alien, Nate. But then my favorite number is a number 8. Loads of reasons why. So it became Alien 8. So it's like Alien 8 UK. Oh my God. And it just fell, like dropped in my lap. I can't remember the exact moment, but that's it. That is all it is. So it's Alien 8 UK. So I bought the domains of Alien 8 Productions. So Alien Nate Productions, Alien number 8 Productions, both.com.
Yeah.
I got the Andy-codes.com because someone's already got Andy codes. Unfortunately, it weren't me. And I could put a bid in it for like 600, 700, 800 quid. I'm like, no, I'm not that desperate for it. Yeah, so like, nah, that's not happening. So then I thought, right, I'll try Alien 8 art.com or whatever. That was nearly £1,000. So then I got alien8.uk. Right? I think it was £11 for 12 months. So I bought that. Then I bought the email for it. For 12 months, that was about 20 quid. So I've got the email server for 12 months. So the domain and the email was less than 20 quid for a year. So that's why I've kept them. And now the tagline where the paranormal becomes normal, because for me, that's where it is. Paranormal is normal to me with all the stuff that I've had going on. Yeah. So that's why, to show you again, I'll show you a different one. This is the one without all the writing on it. So you can see it's like the alien in a jar.
Yeah.
And you got all the stuff around it. It's a circle, so it's easier for printing because I don't like edges on anything like with the corners and that. That's my OCD.
Yeah.
not ADHD. And it's just easier for printing and what have you. So that's where all that came from. And that's how it became Alienate. So it's Alienate UK, but the email is at alienate.uk.
Yeah.
And because it's got a number in it and it's less than 15 characters long, apparently it stands out more. And it's just better for the email world, apparently.
So mine,
That's
if I
why I
did
got
it,
told. Does it even make
mi-
any sense to me whatsoever?
so mine would stick out and do well then in the email world.
Yeah.
Nice.
Yeah. So anything less than 15, it's got numbers in it that represent words. You don't even have to represent words. It stands out more. So
All
once I
right.
get the website up and running, which I'm not going to be doing till the last week in July because I'm not going to have time to do it,
Yeah.
then I'll be putting a lot more stuff on there. So that's how that came about. And yeah, because I don't like the word paranormal. I don't mind it so much now. I just didn't. You say paranormal, people think ghost hunting, and that's it.
Yeah.
There's no
Paranormal.
wider spectrum than that. Paranormal is everything that's not normal.
Yeah.
So
Definitely understand that. Yeah.
yeah. So that's why I kind of moved away from that. I kept the codes. I use the codes as my surname because I was using my real surname, but it's like you kind of don't really want. You don't know who's out there, do you? In the not so nice world.
Yeah.
So it's easier for people to track you down, and if people are a bit loopy, it's just not worth the hassle.
Nope.
Not just to do this for a couple of hours a week. So that's why I changed the surname, and that kind of carried the codes.
Yeah.
So it was always the codes was always going to stay from day one. I knew that. That is, you hear that blip then?
Yes. That's why I was like, what the hell was that? Because I
As
thought it was
you,
outside, but
I,
it was in my ear.
oh, I heard it.
I heard it in my ear.
Oh,
That's why I was like, hang on a minute, that's not in outside.
It came from you. It's like a blip. That's what I heard anyway. Don't know if anyone in the chat heard it.
That was weird. That's why I looked outside and then instantly realised that ain't outside.
No. It's
Oh.
all right. We'll keep listening. Might see some object. You never know. Yeah. So that's how it became Alienate UK, and that's what it is. So it's Alienate UK Investigate. The show is Alienate UK. The Facebook group is Alienate UK. But when I do the video and the editing and all that, that's Alienate Productions.
Yeah.
So it's still going to come under Alienate Productions, and everything's just going to drop forward up below it. And that's it.
Yeah.
And now I am sticking with that. I know I've changed
definitely.
it a billion times, but it's just it fits.
It definitely does.
There's no reason now to change it. Whereas before, I always had in the back of my mind, that's not sitting right. It's not even fine tuning that it needs. It complete revamp. So now it's like, no, that's it. I'm happy with it. I've
It
not
suits
since
you
I've
as well.
done it. I'm like, massive weight off the shoulders. I do fine tune it every now and again. Like if I see something on it, I've just got to like if there's a pixel out or something like that, it's like, oh, please don't let anyone see it. I can't
But
be
that,
asked.
but that is your OCD, so it makes sense.
Yeah. So yeah.
But yeah. So the first question I will ask is, when did you start with the I won't say it. I'll try not. I'll try not to say the word. Ghost. All right, paranormal.
Yes.
When did you start the parent? Yeah, when did you like truly start doing it and that?
It's always the thing is, it's always been there throughout life. I've had stuff happen to me from the age of 4 up until that blip, like 2 minutes ago. There's always been something going on, but I've not always been directly connected to it. There's been a lot of times where I've just for years, like I'm talking 3-4 years at a time, I've had nothing, and I've just never thought about it. That was more growing up, teens, say late 20s, early 30s, because I was more going out, partying and clubbing and enjoying stuff. So I didn't really bother. I'd say it's probably about a 7-year period of where I just did not do any paranormal event. Even if I've seen something or heard something, I just didn't care about it.
Yeah.
That was it. I was just busy doing other stuff. And then as I slowed down to a stop of doing that, it kind of just popped back up again. And then all the weird stuff started happening. And I mean, everything. I've seen the sky open up, a UFO go through it and close behind it like a giant zip. I've had a shadow person walk that close to me. If I'd have stuck my face out, my nose would have gone into them. I've had full body apparitions run down the stairs, round into the kitchen. I've gone in there. There's nobody there. There's no way out. There weren't even a door coming out the kitchen. The door going into the back was in the living room where I was sat. And then the front door, and the angle where I was sat, I could see both doors.
Yeah.
I've seen a man cross the road with a dog. By the time he got, it's only a normal side road on a housing estate. So what, 15 foot? So they crossed over. By the time they got on the other side, it was a woman, completely different.
Weird. That
was in Leicester, of all places. So I've seen a pterodactyl. I've seen and not heard a silent helicopter flying between. I grew up in a semi-detached house.
Yeah.
And the houses, there's only 10 houses in the street, so it's 4-2-2-4. No, it wasn't. I can't count. Oh, so the two end houses, the two corner houses, wasn't in our street, but they were connected. So it's 3, 2, 2, 3. So it made it 12, but the two on the end were facing out, so they weren't part of the street.
Yeah.
Yeah. So, yeah. And there's like the gap between the houses is it weren't an Apache. It's similar to that. It's called a Huey. Don't really know much about it.
Yeah.
And it was doing all these maneuvers upside down. And I'm watching it. My mum shouts me because we're going out shopping or going to my grand's or something. And come out and I'm stood there looking at it. Mum shouting me to hurry up. The street's only like 70 foot long, if that.
Yeah.
And it wasn't until a few months ago I was talking about it, I realised that there was no sound coming from this helicopter. There's no wind coming off the propellers.
Yeah, I've had that experience as well.
Ooh.
It's weird. I can admit it's weird.
Yeah. But at the time, it wasn't.
Yeah. Yeah, I would say the same as well. It was, for me, I would say it was, when I saw it and I was just like, hang on a minute, there's no sound. So I'm like continually staring at it, doing what he's doing. I'm like, and for me, I started zoning out. So literally, it was like there's like you'd zoom in effect.
Yes.
So I was like proper like, and then I blacked out and came to, and I was just like, and I looked up, and it was still there.
Oh.
But the thing is, there was sound to it then. And I was thinking, what the heck? I was like, stood there, looked around just to make sure no one was like staring at me, and I didn't want to look ridiculous. But it was weird. I can say all I can say. It was weird because
so I had fields and all that at the back of the house and a massive back garden. So it come over and it was in the back garden and it's doing loops and upside down and like stuff you'd see on an air show.
Yeah.
But this is like in someone's back garden with a helicopter. It's not possible, especially with all the trees and that. But it wasn't until I was talking about it last year that I realised there was no sound coming from it. It's like there was no, because my mum would have said something. The neighbours where I grew up, they knew what you were doing before you did it. That's how nosy they were.
Yeah.
And they'd all be out but no one was about. So it was like only I could see it. I can still picture the two guys, the pilot and co-pilot, the hair, the mustache, the helmets, the lot, what they was wearing. It's like when it dipped, so it was level with my bedroom window. If I'd have jumped out the window, I'd have landed on the screen of this helicopter. That's how close it was. But it couldn't have been that close because the blades would have been going through the wall of the house, been ripping through it.
Yeah.
So it wasn't a helicopter. But that's what I seen.
But that is weird though, because obviously I can, I definitely saw, but it's just when I saw it, like obviously came back and looked up again, it was the sound, and I was thinking, but I could still hear what was around me, but the noise that comes from the helicopter would have been heard no matter what. You would have heard it,
Yeah.
But yeah, it was definitely when I was zoned out. It was.
Well, this would have been echoey because not far from us is an aerodrome. We used to have an air show on every year. A lot of the planes would come over the back because of the fields and that. Because you get like the B-52 bombers would fly over because of how open it was. It was just easier. Obviously, since then, there's like new housing estates that have been built. But back in the 70s and 80s, it was just empty. There's virtually nothing there. So they'd go straight across it like as low as they could. So you'd hear that, and it was on. If you looked out the back window, you stand in the back garden and look out the window, whatever. When Manchester Airport only had the one runway, you'd see the planes circling, waiting to land. And then when they built the second runway, it's every other day because they'd alternate.
Yeah.
So you'd see planes all the time, and even helicopters and what have you coming into land at the aerodrome at Manchester Airport. Like a lot of the private ones, that a police helicopter, because that would take off from where the aerodrome was.
Yeah.
So even that was in as I got older, but looking back at this helicopter, I'd say I was around about 10-ish. Comparing that to what everything else that was going on, it was not anything like reality. At the time, it felt real. It wasn't until I started talking about it on the show that it kind of clicked. It's like, that went a helicopter. So what it was, I don't know, because I didn't see its true identity. But 100% it wasn't a helicopter. That was the image I was given.
It's weird, isn't it?
Yeah.
But apart from that one, what other, I would say, paranormal, and obviously anything else that you've had that you'd be like, either can't explain or you know what it is.
So people in the chat, they go, not again. But this is like this is like a pinnacle of paranormal investigating, is Bench Guy. I don't know if he spoke to you about it. When I first started going out investigating, there's a cemetery up the road from me. It's big. If you used to walk around the perimeter, it'd take you a good 45, 50 minutes, like just walking at normal pace.
Yeah.
So it's a main cemetery, but you got the different parts where it's like a lot of them are just like parish churches where they've just got them for that area. These are from all over different parts of Northampton. And I gone in one night. I remember the time because we time stamped it and did everything and checked it, and we tried to recreate it with the same equipment, different people. And it's Bench Guy. So I'm filming. There's two people in the chat, two people on screen. I'm out investigating. Sorry, 1 second. I just got to type something. And Mark, who's with me, I thought the guy was dressed the same, like jacket, cap, trackies, trainers. So I thought, oh, it's Mark. He sat down. And I start walking over. I was like, oh, shit, it's not Mark. So I'll go on. I apologise. It's like the blinding him with my torch. So I walk over, I explain what I'm doing because I thought he's going to think I'm some sort of nutter, right? He wasn't wrong if he did think that. So I went over, explained what I was doing. I was doing filming, blah blah blah. That's all about me, mate. He's like, his guy was apologetic. He's like, don't worry about it. Honestly, it's fine. But this is a weird thing. So I had my body cam on with me, like GoPro camera on the body harness, and I was filming. So he had a really strong Dutch accent, really pale. I mean, pale skin, like transparent. He
Yeah.
looked like he was mid to late 20s, so 24 to 27. No, not even touching 30. And he had his phone in his right hand. So he's got his phone like that, but he's looking at me there, that way. Right? But his hand was on his lap. And I'm trying to look to see what he was doing on his phone, like, because that was when Pokemon Go was big and what have you. So I thought I was doing that. I couldn't smell any weed, couldn't smell drink, didn't see any cans or bottles or anything. He just sat there on his phone on his own. And it was right at the point where the Commonwealth war graves are. So I'm right. So I had a good couple of minute chat with him. And I said about Mark. He goes, "Oh, your mate's just gone down there." So right, cheers. So I walked back round because I looked and I could see his torch further down the other way. So I walked away, and as I got further away, it just reality kicked in. It's like proper like mini panic attack. I'm like, all this is on film. It's like, shit, what just happened? That wasn't normal. And when I looked back, I couldn't see him. There's no one sat on the bench. So I walked around to where Mark was. Mark went, "Nah, there was no one sat on that bench. I was videoing it as I walked past." So he stopped his recording, went back to the start, and we watched it. And as he walked past the bench, there was nobody sat there. Yet this guy said he's just walked past me.
Blimey.
Right?
Yeah.
When you hear the audio from the GoPro, he sounds like an 80-year-old man, like old voice and all that.
Yeah.
He was not that much more than mid-20s, 27 tops.
Yeah.
And really strong Dutch accent. And we tried recreating it and all this stuff and can't do it. And then I started doing a little bit of research. This happened this was 3 years ago. So I started to delve into it a little bit more. And I got the bit of the video and I clipped it to just that part where you can see him from beginning to end and did it frame by frame. And it starts off with virtually no one to a full body person, but he's got a red glowing light right like a giant orb in front of his face. You can just see his face behind it.
Yeah.
But I believe that this orb was masking who he really is because the face behind it is completely different. And if you look at the last still of that to the first still, it's two completely different people.
Would you reckon it could?
All I got in my head was I just spoke to the devil.
You think it was
when I moved away? I got goosebumps now, and I said reality kicked in.
Yeah.
In my head, it's like that was the devil, but he wasn't. I don't know. That was the only thing that I felt. I didn't feel anything else other than I was scared. It was the devil, and I don't ever want to say it again. But from what I've learned since then to now, the devil isn't all that bad as such. So, and I'm not religious, so you can't give me that one.
What the weird thing, what I've noticed, I used to date someone, and I would be around theirs a hell of a lot.
Yeah.
And they had some dark energy, and I noticed after the first day of going around there, like every other time, I would go into that house, and without me actually acknowledging what I'm saying, I would be saying Jesus Christ all the time, and I would say it a hell of a lot. And it got to the point where my ex, turned around and said, "What are you doing? Keep saying Jesus Christ. Why? You're not religious." And I'm like, well, I am Christian, but I don't go to church. But the thing is, there's something in this house that is warning me and is telling me to say Jesus Christ. Like I would honestly, like if I was to go there, like I don't know, 12 in the afternoon till 8, 9 at night, no word of lie, I probably would say Jesus Christ about 60 or 70 times.
Wow.
There was something there that weren't good, and I
Yeah.
just constantly say Jesus Christ after every so often, and it was just I was like, I figured it out. I was just like, I say Jesus Christ a lot, and it's only in that house.
Nowhere else.
And for me to go in there, say Jesus Christ, of all of you know,
Yeah. All the phrases you could
the
say.
energy in there obviously was dark, but it must have been some dark for me to say Jesus Christ,
Yeah.
because that was some weird. It was weird energy, and I think it was the fact that because I've been told by mediums and other people that I've got a massive bright white light, and
Right.
whatever was in that house did not like me. And for me saying
Right.
Jesus Christ was me warning me and the others and protecting. And the weird thing is that whatever's in the house kept staying upstairs
Yeah.
all the time that I was downstairs. Every time I was upstairs, it would go downstairs. And I got the feeling that it didn't like me. It didn't want to try
No.
to scare me. It was like, his energy's a bit too powerful for me. I've got to back away. But yeah, but 60 or
Did
70
you ever
times
see
I would.
anything?
Oh, yeah. I saw some shadows in that house,
Yeah.
mimicking me, my ex, her daughter, her son. It, it was weird.
Yeah.
Kept calling us upstairs. He'd be like, Daryl, come upstairs. And I'll be standing there. I'll be like, knowing exactly where like my ex is or
Yeah.
any of the children was. And I'm like, um, yeah, let's not go upstairs for a bit or wherever it was in the house. I'm like, because I know exactly where everyone was. So for
Yeah.
me to be like hearing my ex, knowing she's in the front room or something, but hearing upstairs, I'm like, yeah, no, I'm not coming upstairs. I'm staying down here.
Yeah.
You know what I
I'm
mean?
sure thanks
It,
anyway.
yeah. But to be honest, I obviously, don't speak to her anymore.
Yeah.
But I truly believe that house needs knocking down and never built on. That
Yeah.
bit of it should
Wow.
just be, because something was very dark and it's not good.
Well, it's like the house where I lived with my ex in Milton Keynes. There's growling outside the bedroom window, the shadow people. That was with the full body apparitions that ran downstairs. I believe now, with what you just said, it was mimicking, because there's a lot more shadow people. Whoever ran downstairs had a white t-shirt on and jeans, and was the same build as her son. He was the youngest one. I
Yeah.
think he was around about 8 or 9 at the time, but he never used to wear jeans. It was shorts or trackies. So I knew it wasn't him. He didn't own a pair of jeans. So I went into the kitchen thinking he could have, I don't know why I thought he could have borrowed some jeans from someone. And I went in thinking he was going to be behind the fridge or something, and I crept round. There was nobody there. It's like, right, I'm going out now. I'm going for a walk. Bye. I went out for about 20 minutes. Just walked around the block a couple of times and then come back.
Yeah.
And there was, like, see, I've got all this stuff behind me. See that wooden thing there? It'd be like a cardigan on a coat hanger, and it'd just come up like that, stop, and then go back and start. Won't swing. It was a solid move from point A to B, then back to A, and then you'd hear a voice. Just died inside. You know what I mean? It was just
That was the best.
that was one of the first things that happened in the house. Was when this cardigan moved on a coat hanger. I'm like, no, I don't need it.
How does that go again? You mean die inside?
That's a noise of me dying inside. Happened more than once, by the way. It'll probably keep happening. We had growling outside the bedroom window. It's like 16 foot ish from the ground. And this growling was at the window, like to say the bottom of air where it cuts off. That's the window, and it opens horizontally. It was open. You already have a safety catch on, so you can't fall out. And the growling was under the window, and it wasn't a dog. It was somewhat bigger than a dog. It's probably like some sort of some sort of bear dog hybrid wolf type creature, because it was a full guttural growl. And I thought, if I put my hand through that window, I'm either going to get my arm ripped off or I'm getting ragged through that window. But there's a big like cherry tree underneath it. I ended up cutting it down not so long after that. And it's like, so it was a cross. So it was a big square of houses with like the grass in the middle. All the parking was around the outside. So from the first house all the way up, then all the way across, a full L-shaped. So you had either 10 or 12 houses. It's 5 and 5 or 5 and 7.
Yeah.
So there's is that why was it only this one house that was getting all this stuff? But saying that, I knew some of the neighbours and spoke to them, but I never really asked them about anything like that. Have you got any growling outside your bedroom window? Do your coat hangers move in the middle of the night, or you dying inside?
I look at you like, you're right. Yeah.
So it wasn't the question to be asking. But then there's other stuff. That was when I found this something transplant. Was it in your nose? Yeah, is it transplant? No.
You got me thinking now. Does anyone know in the comments? Please help us out.
They should know. They've heard this story more than I've told it. It's like the size of a grain of rice, same width, same length. It's like a little plastic tube. I was elbow deep inside my nose trying to get this out in the middle of the night. Got it out, put it on the bedside table. I had a white IKEA, then Kellogg's units.
Yeah.
I had one of them, put it on top. You can smell blood on you. You see. And took it out, put it on there. Thought I'll have a look at that in the morning. Woke up, there was no blood, none on the pillow, none on my hand. Could not find the implant. That's it. Cheers, Si. Could not find it anywhere. And I had an indentation. I'm trying to think, my left nostril, because that kind of goes in a little bit there. And I've been told, because I had Jessica Jones do a remote view on me, I've had an implant, I've still got an implant, or I'll be having another one. So I think I've had another one put in. Just because of sometimes how I feel, and I'll be doing something, and then something will just click, and it's like, it doesn't make any sense.
Have you got children playing around outside? Or in your house?
There's a kid like 2 streets down, but my microphone is noise cancelling, so it shouldn't pick. I've got a fan on behind me, so you shouldn't even be able to hear that.
But I just heard it sounded like kids.
Kids or kid?
Kid.
Can you recreate the child sound?
Well, it was the... It sounded like that, but a kid.
Oh, I heard a kid go...
It might have picked up on your mic then, because that's what I heard.
Wouldn't have done.
Well, I heard a kid's voice. I don't know if anyone else heard that, but I definitely heard a kid.
The window is open a touch. Next door is the lad's only 2-3 years old, so because it's nice and playing in the back garden. So it could have been him. Sounds like a cat. Yeah. It's probably next door neighbours. It could have been a cat. It could have been anything. Don't know. Could have been a helicopter. But yeah, this implant, I don't know. No one else heard it. So yeah, this implant, never found it. It could have been put back in. I honestly don't know. But I had all this stuff happen in about a 5-year period. A lot of people saying they didn't hear anything.
I definitely heard something like a kid.
Yeah.
Simon says it was my cats.
Yeah, he's got 3 cats.
Did you
They
leave
ain't
him next door to you?
He's like 150 mile away.
You gonna meet any cats then? Yeah, well, I definitely heard something. So unless my hearing's just all of a sudden they're just amplified, you're going to hear stuff and it's going to be weird.
There you go. Could be that. It could be that. Yeah, so there's loads of stuff that happened in that house. It's so I can't even. I'd have my name shout. We used to breed cats, and at the time, I think we had about 13 cats. So we had like the cats that we keep in, then we had 2 litters, one was older than the other, and we'd never let them go until he was at least 10 weeks old. Because they've got to be a minimum of 8 weeks, and you've got to wean them off and all that. It's like, it's not fair. We'll just keep him for an extra couple of weeks. Anyway, they used to get fed on the stairs, so the bowl would be on the stairs. So go up one side and back down the other. It got to a point there was that many. Anyway, the cats, they'd been fed and they'd gone upstairs, and I heard a weird noise, similar to what you've just said. Wasn't a bang or a smash or anything like that. So I was walking from the living room into the kitchen. So from living room, you pass the bottom of the stairs, the front door, into the hallway, and then into the kitchen. They're sat by side. And as I'm walking there, all these cats, just you know when you see bats flying out of a cave,
Yeah,
the cats flew downstairs, and they flew and stopped, and they're all looking up at the exact same point at the top of the stairs.
yeah.
I looked at the cats, I ain't going up there. Thanks for letting me know. So yeah, there was something there. I don't know what it was, and I wasn't going finding out.
No.
It wasn't necessary to know anything like that. I lived there for a start. So yeah.
He's
Well,
Og.
so she's one of my moderators, Elaine. So yeah.
Hello.
So Elaine, Jane, Joe, and that's it. That's all I can see on there. But yeah, sorry, just quickly. So those who haven't already, can you please sub to Daryl's YouTube channel, because he's had to start afresh and he wants to build it up, and he's a top guy. So if you don't, then shame on you.
Cheers for the shout, mate.
That's fine, anytime.
Top lad.
Yeah, I know how difficult it is. So
yeah, any little helps.
Yeah, even if you just wanted to, it builds, and the decent viewers as well. People that sub from here, because I know people that have paid for subs and they've got thousands and thousands, but you don't get thousands and thousands watching.
No, Mitchell. Probably if you do 1,000 subs, you probably get 10 maybe real ones.
Yeah.
Being realistic, I know a few people that in the past have done that. It's just not worth it. You know what I mean?
You're just throwing your money away just to make it look like your channel is. But it's not. It's about quality, as I said to you before, not quantity.
Yeah.
You want people that are going to come on and watch regular and be part of what you do.
Thank you, Jojo. But hopefully I am entertainment.
You are. You definitely are.
I haven't. Obviously, a lot of people know who I am. That watch will know who I am and how weird I am. But obviously tonight, I'm not really being weird. Although that Andy and I do connect on a good level.
Yeah,
I haven't really shown him my weirdness.
That's fine. We'll swap. We'll exchange weirdness.
Yeah.
One day. Yeah, that'll be good.
But what would you say your weirdest out of anything? Obviously, paranormal aliens and stuff like that. What would you say is your weirdest experience?
The one that is the least paranormal but the most messed up was when I seen the pterodactyl.
I think I want to hear that.
Because you don't see pterodactyls. You see them in movies.
Yeah.
So, same. I was at the House of Nonsense in Milton Keynes. And I was in the back garden. I got a telescope. I don't know if you can see it. It's on top of the wardrobe, but no, I've got thingy over it. And I've been sky watching. I had the telescope set up, point like looking, because now and again, because of the position of the house and the street lighting, you could set it up so there's no artificial light. And on a clear day, you could see like the Milky Way and like certain planets, different star, like the good star constellations, not the ones that you can see, not like the Plough and all that. Is it Pleiades and all the ones that are there, but you don't see with the naked eye? You've got to zoom right in or use a decent camera or telescope or something. So I was looking at them because I had a thing on my iPad. I think it's not Sky. I can't remember what it was. So you point it up and you move it around. It show you where all the planets and sun, moon, and everything was in real time. So you don't. You'd move it around. It's like right. So you know where to point and where to look. I'd been doing that, and I turned around to come back in. It was about 11 o'clock at night. I know it was summer, and I turned around. I'd packed the telescope away. I think I'd left it out. It was secure where it was. I'm sure I'd left it out. I thought I'll have a look at some other bits when it's daylight, or even come back out later. And turn around to come back in, and someone caught me in the top right hand corner of like the start of where I could see.
Yeah.
And I looked up, I'm like, oh my God. I had my phone in my hand. Didn't even consider, no thought entered my mind or anything to take a picture. And I just, so it was probably about, from my perspective, how I'm looking, it was a foot above the edge of the roof line. Because the house is where I lived. It was higher at the back than the front. It wasn't like your typical roof like that. It's more like a lean-to. So the back of the house, so where it was, and I didn't have to stand back or anything. I just watched it fly over, go all the way across till it was out of sight. It must have been about 24 foot long with at least a 16-foot wingspan. I could see it from the underbelly. Couldn't really see its head. Could make out the spike or whatever it is that comes from the back of the head. Could see the feet. The way that the wings were more like where bats have 3. This only had 2, so it was 1, then the end, and then they had like the claw finger coming out the top of each one. Couldn't really make out the feet, but you could see the legs. And then the tail, and it had like that diamond bit at the end. And it was a really dark brown, like tan, like that colour of the unit. You see it there? But if you can make it out. Like really like a rustic brown colour. And it was on the black sky, so it stood out more. And I just watched it. I'm like, oh my God, I've just seen a dragon. Didn't think of a pterodactyl. I've just seen a thing with wings with a long neck, legs, and a tail.
Yeah.
And it's like, it was a dragon. And I ran into the house, and that door was like 2 foot away. And the computer was linked up to the TV. So it was like, everyone had gone to bed. So I'm like, straight on it, like dragon on YouTube, Google, dragon flying in the UK. And it's all like, not, this was back in like 2013, 2014. So like 10-ish years ago.
Yeah.
So CGI wasn't at its greatest place as it is now. So you could see what was fake and what wasn't, and there's nothing on there. And then I just forgot what I was doing, as people tend to do when they've had an encounter. And I'm started looking at all this other stuff, and yeah, just forgot about it. Then it'd be about 2.5 years ago, flicking through Facebook, and this image, obviously CGI, this pterodactyl. I dropped to the chair. I'm like, oh my God, that is what I seen. It wasn't a dragon. is a pterodactyl. There's another name for it. I cannot remember. Please don't ask me what it is. And then I started looking at pterodactyls, and it's like, that is what I've seen. The wings, the shape of it, the colour. One of my mates said, was it not a kite? I watched it fly probably about a mile across the sky. Yeah. Like about 30 from where I was, from point A to point B. Yeah. Pterosaur. That was it. It didn't go off course. It stayed in a straight line. Like it was like someone was pulling it. And I'll take Nick out of the night. It was a kite. Its head didn't move. It didn't flap its wings. It didn't go up. Didn't go down. It didn't look like it from where I was stood because I was using the rooftop is like a level to watch it. So it kept the same distance between the top of the roof and that, even though that was further back, like I said, perspective view. It didn't fly off, didn't go off course. I was speaking to, did a podcast with Craig Bryant about it on his Pendle Paranormal podcast, and he said he's had people tell him that before. They go into like a thermal drift, and once they're in it, it conserves energy because if it is what I'm saying it is, it'd be cold-blooded. So it's going to need as much energy to keep as it could. So this is now what I'm thinking. It wasn't a kite because that was a long piece of rope pulling that 24-foot bird across the sky at 11 o'clock at night. It was going northeast, slightly off north to the west, but only like a couple of degrees.
Yeah.
And it just, because it was something that shouldn't be there, and the more I speak about it, the more I think about it, did one of us go into a time slip? Did that come through and be in our time instead of its own time? Or did I go through and see what is there that we don't notice? Or is it always in our timeline? And I'm not always out in the back garden at 11 o'clock at night looking up for prehistoric birds flying across.
Yeah.
Are they there all the time and we don't see them because we're not looking for them?
Yeah.
Or the next one, which relates back to the helicopter, was it not even a prehistoric bird? Was it something else and was using that as a camouflage or a shield or a cloak?
Definitely, yeah. It could be different theories, couldn't it?
Yeah.
But in your true opinion, what would you say is?
Sorry, I've got a sneeze.
Oh, right. I was looking again. Huh? What? Eh?
I didn't want to blast that down the microphone. I believe it was a priest. No, it's good.
Hello. What happened?
Time slip. Oh, is a time slip. I believe it was a prehistoric bird. No sound, no movement. Someone said, "Why didn't you shout?" And I kind of thought, I think I should have done. But then if it did, what if it did come and took me? And I'd be living like a caveman now, wouldn't I? But this is a weird. So this is a weird thing. So a guy got in touch with me through one of the YouTube shows that I did. He was talking about this orange orb that he'd seen not far from where I used to live. And this was him growing up. He's like going out towards Luton. And he sent me a few messages anyway. I ended up giving him my number and we arranged to have this chat. So I rang him and we're talking about it. And he started saying about my pterodactyl encounter. And he went, it's really weird that because he was over the other part of Milton Keynes around about the same, possibly the same time, maybe the same type of year, around about the same time of year. But this was later because him and his missus were parked up in Asda car park watching the sunset. But where this car park, it's a new build, so it used to be like a little like parking spot where you park up, go through like a trail and come back to your car. And it's quite high up, so you can see right over. Anyway, so they parked up there, and he said he'd seen this bird in the sky, and then it started flapping about, and he realised it wasn't as close as what he thought it was, and it was a lot bigger than what he thought it was. And we worked out it flew, even though he's seen he's moving about and flapping its wings, it flew in the same direction as the one I'd seen, but I was looking at it from the other side. So say he was looking at it from the where are we? So we're there. There's Northampton. So he was looking at it from the east. I was looking at it from the west.
Right, yeah.
Yeah. But it was still heading like north.
Same, yeah.
Yeah. But different times of the day, but roughly the same. Say it was the same year and around about the same time of year, like mid to end of summer. Just because he said he was there, it was about 8:30, 9 o'clock, and the sun was setting. So I reckon that was what? Either beginning of summer or the end of summer. So it was either around beginning of June or end of August or thereabouts. So yeah, I believe it was a pterodactyl. I really do.
Yeah.
So yeah, that's the one that stands out more than anything, because it's something that shouldn't have been there. It's something that we was taught about that existed and now is extinct.
Yeah.
But then people are seeing them. And then Emma from To Investigate, she told you the story. She was up in Fleetwood and she seen one. Was looking at the caravan over the sea, and theirs was like a whitish colour. But same characteristics as the one I'd seen.
Yeah. It's something
there's two for you straight away.
Yeah. Yeah. Big up the Manchester girls.
Yeah.
So we are coming to an end to this show. It's gone quick. And
Wow.
I'm sure we'll have to have you on, and then we talk about other stuff as well.
Yeah.
But before we finish, do you want to just shout out all your socials and where we can find you?
Right. So the main one now that I use is my YouTube channel, Alienate UK. That's it. And that's if Joe is doing a job proper, she will put the link up on there. So that is the logo for it. You can't really see because they shine. So it's white and black, red right around with Alienate UK and alienate.com. Alienate Productions at the bottom, or something like it's a version of that. Facebook, you can have me on Facebook, but do drop me a message as to, because you get loads of weird randomers, half naked people sending me messages, and it's like, no, thank you anyway, but no, I'm not doing that. So yeah, you can have me on Facebook, Andy Codes. Facebook group is Alienate UK. You can go on there. I'm on TikTok. I'm on Instagram, Threads, which is part of Instagram. Was on Snapchat, don't really use it. Can't get my head around it anymore. It's different than what it used to be when I was on it before. But it's all Alienate UK. So if you type that in, you should find it straight away. But like I said, the main one that I use is YouTube and then Facebook for advertising it.
Yeah. Well,
have you got a dog?
No, I didn't hear a dog. Upstairs I got a dog, but I didn't hear a dog, if that made sense.
Like a
it's
dog.
A seagull. It's a seagull. What? It's a seagull.
Sea dog. I forgot you're near the coast, aren't you? You're near the coast.
Yes, I'm literally on the. Yes, what you said.
Yeah, on the coast.
I couldn't think what's. I'm on the edge of the lands where the waters begin.
Yes, and but beyond.
Thank you, everyone that has watched and subbed. I appreciate it very much. Hopefully, you was entertained. I'm definitely entertained by Andy, and just thank you. And obviously staying there, and while I'm gonna quickly end it, and then we'll talk behind the back if you want, or you bugger off. Either way, I don't know.
No, I've got 5 minutes.
Yeah,
The
but
missus is doing a fry up, so I cannot let that go cold.
okay. But thank you everyone that has watched and subbed. Much appreciated. And obviously you can find me on Facebook at Daryl Evans. Picture with a Lost Souls logo. It's got a ghost, a white ghost with red around it. So if anyone wants to appear on the podcast, give us a PM on the private one, and then we'll sort it out. At the moment, we're booked up till September, but I'm changing my ways and going to add it in on Saturdays as well. So if anyone wants to come on, PM me and we'll sort something out. But for now, it's been a pleasure. It's been a pleasure with Andy, as always. And until next time, I won't tell you who's on next because it's a little bit of a surprise. I think everyone might like this one. They might not. It's a bit of a but it'll be one not to miss.
Yeah.
And I've just seen something fly down past my window.
The ghost of a seagull.
I don't know, but I'll say goodbye to the viewers. I mean, you talk behind the scenes.
Yeah.
So goodbye, everyone.
Cheers. Thank you.